Good day, grade 8 students. I am Mrs. Perez-Bendijo, your Technology and Livelihood Education teacher. Welcome to Handicraft. Handicrafts are mostly defined as products which are produced by hand or with the help of simple tools. There are different varieties of handicraft: wood carving, weaving, jewelry, pottery, metal craft, and embroidery are one of the most popular handicrafts here in the Philippines. In this lesson, we will discuss about embroidery. What is embroidery? Before we begin to our lesson for today, let me first share with you the objectives of our lesson. This lesson will help you explain what is embroidery, learn the development of embroidery in the Philippines, and identify the different tools and materials used in embroidery. Embroidery is a craft of decorating a fabric or other materials with needlework for personal use and decoration. The term embroidery is an English word derived from the Old French embroiders, meaning edge and border. Embroidery was brought by the Spaniards into the Philippines and reached its highest development during the Middle Ages. The nuns in the convents were the first to make articles with embroidery work during their leisure time. Since then, it became so popular that women started to enjoy it, creating designs of their own. In the beginning, embroideries were done by hand. But since the advent of technology and the invention of the sewing machine, people are now engaged in the machine embroidery. Today, because of the fast growth of the industry, elegance of design and fineness of workmanship, Filipinos exports articles with embroidery work. Embroidery work or design is best achieved if correct tools and materials are used. That's why it is really vital for you to have a piece of complete knowledge over the essential tools and materials you must have to use for your embroidery work. In this lesson, I am going to share with you the tools and materials that we will be using in embroidery and how to use them. But before that, let us differentiate the tools and materials. Tools refers to small or handy devices or instruments used in sewing, while the materials, these are those that are consumed in finishing a project. So, what are the basic tools in embroidery? When you are going to measure short distances, you will need gauge. And when you are going to measure the sizes and distances, you will also need the tape measure. Next, thimble. It is a tool made from metal or plastic which protects the middle finger and push the needle while doing your embroidery work. The other tool is the embroidery hoop. It is made of wood, bone, metal, or plastic used to make eyelets in the fabric to be embroidered. It is also used to keep the fabric stretched while embroidery stitches are applied on the design. The next one is the embroidery scissors. It is a tool which is small, sharp, and pointed. It is good for fine work used for trimming scallops, clipping threads, and cutting large eyelets. The next one is the needle threader. It is a tool used for easier threading, especially by those sewers with poor eyesight. Pounce. It is a fine powder used in transferring design by pricking method. In our next lesson, we will further discuss the different methods in transferring design. Next, embroidery needle. A short pieces of steel with a fine point at one end and a little opening or eye at the other end. The kind of embroidery work to do and the kind of thread to use are two things to be considered in choosing your needle. There are different kinds of needle. The first one is crewel. It has sizes 1 to 10. Crewel is sharp-pointed, medium in length, and with large eyes for easy threading. The next one is chenille. It has sizes 13 to 26. Chenille is also sharp-pointed, but they are thicker and longer and have larger eyes than crewel. Last is the tapestry needle. It is also sizes 13 to 26, similar in size to chenille, but are blunt rather than sharp. The other tool used in embroidery is the watercolor brush. It is used for transferring design using pricking and pouncing method. Pin cushion. It is a place for pins and needles. Tracing paper. It is used for tracing designs. Sewing box. It is used to keep the embroidery tools and materials. The last one tool is bag. It is used to keep work or design clean and fresh. A bag made from washable material to hold your work when you are not using it. Now, let us learn about the materials used in embroidery. Fabric. Fabric is any woven, knitted, or felt cloth. They are of great variety, and they differ in material, weight, weave, design, color, and finish. Your selection of fabric will depend on what you are planning to make and what embroidery technique you are using. There are different types of fabric. The first one is the common weave. It includes most tightly woven fabrics with a smooth surface like linen, wool, and cotton. It is really nice ground fabric for surface that embroiders that isn't counted. The next one is the even weave. It is widely used in needlework, especially in counted techniques like cross stitch, since the number of threads per square inch is same for both warp and woof. The third one is the basket weave. It is commonly used by beginners. It supplies guidelines for cross stitch, having evenly spaced pattern like gingham cloth and polka dots. All fabric should be pre-washed before using. The filter that is used in fabric can cause disorder if it is not removed by washing prior to working with the fabric. Last and the other important material is thread. Thread is a very fine cord composed of strands of spun silk, flax, or cotton used in sewing. They are available in various types. They differ in terms of texture, fiber content, number of strands, and colors. They are usually coded in numbers and color names. And it can be bought in skeins, balls, and spools. Now that you have learned about embroidery tools and materials, you may now begin to practice embroidery by using the tools and materials that are available in your home. That's all for today. See you in our next lesson. Thanks for watching.